Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Tarot Noir, and I'm your intuitive tarot reader, Tarot D, aka TAB. You already know what time it is. It's been a while, you guys. It has been a while. I've been on a spiritual journey, career change. So much has been going on. So I had to get on the table today. I want to say thank you to all my subscribers, supporters, my clients who's been working with me behind the scenes. I love every last one of you guys. I just needed to take some time and get some things situated, but now I am back. Um, wow, it's been a while. So, yes, the topic today is Trump and Epstein. Okay. Understand this video is for entertainment purposes only. I consider myself a tarot enthusiast, a tarot historian, uh, a tarot, let's just say a tarot fan. Okay. I love the tarot. I love spirituality. And, I just been in a long spiritual journey. And it's just been a beautiful thing. I thank all my ancestors. I thank my past on loved ones that's been blessing me, protecting me, and removing people that is no longer serving purpose in my life. You have to understand when you go through ascension, sometimes you got to let some things go for you to be a better person spiritually and work on yourself and focus on yourself. So it's just been a journey. So I'm back. Okay. I don't know if you guys have been watching the news. There's a lot going on. Rest in peace to the three celebrities, Jamal, Ozzy Osbourne, and Hulk Hogan, who passed away, recently transitioned this week. Connie Francis also, and it's another one too. A lot of things been going on in this world. And the number one topic of discussion is this Trump and Epstein. Okay. I do not judge people's religious background, spiritual background, political background. I do not judge. I'm just interpreting the cards and seeing what the ancestors have to say, what my spirit guides have to say in reference to Trump and Epstein. Hold on. Let me put my obsidian over here. Okay. So let's get into it. Okay. What is the connection here between Trump and Epstein? Six of Wands. Okay. Got the Six of Wands coming out. Knight of Cups. Okay. Hmm. All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Okay, so we have the Six of Wands coming out. We have the lady holding the Ankh. Okay, this is the Vampire Tarot deck. The Tarot of Vampires. Okay, I get into the artwork of the card. Okay, I honestly believe that there is a very strong connection here between Epstein and Trump. I feel like they all ran in the same crew. Okay. Uh, Enigma, if you haven't heard Trump use that term enigma, this was a term that was used in the birthday letter to Jeffrey Epstein. Um, Birds of a feather flock together. Okay. Birds of a feather flock together. There's a strong connection here. Okay. Six of Wands normally is someone on the horse riding with the crown on their head and being admired by the group of people, being the winner. Henceforth, Trump is the president. You have the red outlining the Ankh in a powerful position. Um, this is definitely, it gives me like cultish type of energy, a brotherhood type of energy, um, something like a secret society type of energy. They all run within the same district or the same group. So I'm feeling like this is something that was part of an in crowd, an elite group, an a undercover, what you would say, like the movie Skulls or the movie Bones. I think there was a movie called Skulls where it was like a secret society fraternity. This is something that happens often and regular. And henceforth, there is a group of young teenage girls in the picture. Um, Very significant here. Okay. We got the Knight of Cups. Okay. The Knight of Cups with the flask in, heart on the sleeve. Oftentimes coming in, rushing in with a message. Normally is what the Knight of Cups signifies. But I feel like this is some sort of fetish that that started within this person. And I want to say Jeffrey Epstein. This is something he's just something in his teenage years that he's just always been into, this sick fetish of underage women. Um, he was stuck there. As you see the island back here, um, very deep in this sick fetish. Okay. Yeah, he was doing this for a while. I want to say back in his teenage years. Okay. All right. Then I believe we had the hermit, the alone energy. Um, I feel like this may be a female. Okay. I want to say there's a book, there's a note. He's writing a note. He's by himself. He's protected in a certain type of aspect, but away from the world. Um, Someone contemplating the past, contemplating um, their involvement. I want to say, even though it has a man on the card, I want to say that this could be the energy of Ghislaine. Um, Introspect, watching this from the background, watching watching Trump as he moves on and tries to um, allegedly deny having any involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. A light is eliminated on the head of the guy who is writing this letter in this card. So that tells me an idea, a new look, a new perspective on that person's situation. Um, Shedding the light in the darkness, opening that book, opening that door, opening that conversation to say, hey, Trump may be in, was a part of this sick situation, this sick group, this sick enigma, this sick cultic group. Okay. Um, a lot of knowledge, a lot of wisdoms, possibly holding the secrets. Okay. I feel like this is what's coming to light. And as you see, if you've been looking on the news, Ghislaine has been prominently in the news so far um, in reference to this Jeffrey Epstein Trump connection. Okay. We also have the Seven of Wands. The lady is defeating all of the wands, um, jumping over the obstacles, and the wands are fiery. Okay. Um, Again, I feel like Ghislaine's energy in reference to this situation is very prominent, holding the cards, holding all the cards. That conversation comes up on the news so many times in reference to Donald Trump and his conversation with Ukraine. And look how the circle has turned around. Now, who's holding the cards now? And it seems to me that Ghislaine may have more information, insight that can possibly set her to a retrial. She may not get off, she might get off, but this is a defeat. This is someone that's defeating the odds, defeating the obstacles, gliding over the obstacles, taking control over the situation here. So I feel like whatever information that she has. And I really don't think we even got to the meat and the potatoes. I just think that the conversation is just barely being open to what she knows in reference to this situation. Okay. I also feel like this is also giving Donald, your hands are not clean. Okay. That's what I'm getting here. Okay. So we're going to go on to the Pope Tarot. I did get some new cards. I did. I got some. I got maybe like 5 new decks. Okay. It's been a while, y'all. I'm so happy to be here. I'm in my element. I'm relaxed. I love doing this. This is me, you know. It is what it is. Yeah, this female energy I'm pulling is very prominent. She knows so much. She has so much information. Yeah, about her lover. 2 of Cups. They were definitely in love. Okay. Um so let's go ahead and ask Spirit, exactly how does Trump play in this a little bit more. Just give us more. Let's see. Knight of Swords, 5 of Cups, King of Wands. Okay, so the Knight of Swords, you have the knight on the horse, and he has his sword up. He's coming in and he's defeating. His first initial reaction is doing what Trump does the most: deny, lie, harsh with words, attacking other people. When we're not, the conversation isn't about Obama. The conversation is about you and Jeffrey Epstein. And I'm just feeling the combativeness, the resistance here of him not wanting to have that conversation and cutting anybody in his way who is going to oppose that. Okay. Throwing people under the bus. As you see, the clouds in the sky is forward, and all in the back is darkness, dark past. Okay. I strongly believe, allegedly, because we have to say allegedly here, that Donald Trump has something to do with this situation. And not only that, I feel like he is one of the main um, people in this group that they do this type of stuff. This was a group, a brotherhood. Heavy, heavy dark. There's more darkness than light. It's not just he hosted the pageants, but he's trying to run from that. Okay, he's trying to run from taking accountability. And at this point, I can understand why he would want to run from any. Nobody wants to be associated with that in this time or ever. Heavy darkness. I just feel like he's coming after everybody else. That's already out there in the news. If you have seen him go after Obama, the Hilton, the not the Hiltons, oh my gosh, uh, the Clintons, everybody else. He's just cutting everybody else, trying to run away from his dark past, which he knows, and just Lane know that allegedly that yeah, he was in on it too. He was definitely in on it too. So I'm just gonna say that this is like a runaway card, trying to run away from the problems. 5 of Cups, there is some sort of regret, but I also feel that there's only regret because this person has been exposed. As you see, there's darkness in the back of her too. The 2 cups are still standing. Okay, she still has 2 cups in the darkness, and the other 3 has been flipped over, exposed, coming forward in the light. The light is shedding on the 3 cups. So for me, there's only regret because this has been exposed. It's not because there's regret for the victim. It's not because he has regret for um participating in these disgusting things. or being the go-to guy for these young women. There's no regret there. The regret is that the situation has been exposed, and he regrets being affiliated now because he's been exposed. No regret for the victim, because he was in this King of Wands energy, the Fire King energy, okay? The seductive, lustful energy, the energy of risk, the energy of pleasures, indulgement, this type of King of Wands. And he regret the fact that he got exposed about his fiery past. But as the King of Wands, I feel like he was one of the ringleaders. It wasn't like, oh, that's my friend. I didn't know anything about it. Da, 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 da. No, no, this was a connection that was like a brotherhood. Okay, this was a connection that you really couldn't miss if you was on the scene. Best friend, one of the head leaders. A king is a head leader. He's on top of it. So it's not like, oh, I didn't know anything about. No, you knew, and not only that, you orchestrated. Okay, allegedly. I have to keep saying allegedly. Okay. Excuse the cars outside. You know, everybody got their bikes and stuff like that. It's summertime. They riding up the street, so excuse the background noise. Okay. Let's get into what's the tea. You know what? Wait a minute. I want to pull a few more cards. I want to pull a few more. Wait a minute. We got the Queen of Wands here. The King of Swords here. The Knight of Swords, the King of Swords. Okay. Choices. Okay. All right. So I was drawn to pull maybe 3 more cards, 4 more cards. What I'm seeing here, we have a match. King of Wands, Queen of Wands. I want to say Melania may have, I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say Melania knows a little bit more than what she's putting on. She knows something. Melania knows something. It makes sense. The red background, of course, Republican Party, the king and queen, president and the president's wife. She knows something. She knows way more. Way more. I wonder, and with the shadow in the back, I wonder if she allegedly may have played a hand in some kind of way in this whole situation. This group, this cultic group, this group that does these type of things to young women, there's some sort of participation. The king does not come home after the day of running the country or running the continent and sit next to his queen and she not knows anything. She knows something, and I feel there is some partake here. The pictures are out online with Jeffrey, Ghislaine, Trump, Melania. Okay. So I really strongly feel, allegedly, she knows something and she partook in some sort of the process, but she's not saying anything. Okay. Strongly believe that. Then we have the King of Swords. King of Swords, the cutoff. Okay. Trying to separate themselves from Jeffrey and Ghislaine. Okay. The cutoff. There's a Two of Pentacles here that talks about choices. The lady holds two pentacles. There's a boat here. There's a massive ship here. Money motivated, maybe a money motivated decision to make this right. Following the Hierophant. I also feel like there could be a feeling of pulling away from this King of Wands too. Okay. Trying to make the decision, should I distance myself from Donald or not? Do what's right. The Hierophant card is urging this person to do what's right. Hierophant is all about order and ordain and doing everything to the T. There may be regret here. Maybe contemplation of moving on, trying to distance herself from this situation here. Okay. Oh, that's a thunderstorm, y'all. Oh, okay. All right. We have a thunderstorm. It's thundering. Woo. Okay, Spirit. Okay. Let's get into it. Somebody having some bad, either they knew this was coming and they feeling like, oh my, see what I say about distancing, dodging the bullet, blocking negativity, escaping crazy people, protected by haters, dodging the bullet. Somebody wants to remove themselves from being associated with him due to this whole expose, this whole situation. Somebody wants to dodge the bullet. They don't want nothing to do with this situation at hand. Melania has regret here. Karmic friends. Can't fully trust them. Secret competition. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. This brotherhood friendship between Trump, Melania, Epstein, Ghislaine. That was a karmic cycle. Also, grudge holder. Love triangle. Third parties, multiple lovers, choices. Grudge holder. This is Ghislaine's energy. She's holding a grudge. Two women and a man, multiple choices. Karmic friendship. The friendship, maybe Ghislaine felt like they were really friends, but they decided to go a different route. Trump and Melania decided to go the political route while Ghislaine and Epstein rot in jail for the very thing that all four of them had something to do with. What's the become of this? Like, what is the become of this situation? Allegedly. Marrying for money. There's some regret here. Melania's not liking this. Ghislaine has a grudge. Their friendship, this whole little friendship, multiple younger lovers and all this is crazy. Rejected sideways. Rejected travel. That's so funny because before I got on here, let me tell y'all, before I got on here, I just seen the post where they talked about Trump going to Scotland. And when he went to Scotland, they rejected him. They didn't want him over there. Okay. That's the thunder, y'all. I'm telling y'all, confirmation. They didn't want him over there. He just got rejected. It literally just posted maybe an hour ago. So it's funny how This car came out sideways and travel to wherever he's going. Marrying for money, yes. We obviously know Melania married for money. That's not nothing new. We know that. We know that. Okay. But Ghislaine is holding a grudge. The man she loved died in prison. He got exposed. She feels like it wasn't a suicide. This was a setup. Okay. The friendship between the four was much more than um what Trump is trying to allegedly say. That is not the case. Uh that's not the issue here. um I do want to say though, Melania knows something. I'm going to put that out there. Melania knows something. She may have had her hands in this group. This was a tight knit friend group, cultic group type of thing. They were into this, they were into that, swapping lovers and doing this and doing that. And it was a nasty love triangle. But two people ended up taking a political route and thinking that if they cut themselves away going the political route, whatever happens to them happens to them. Okay, I think that's so dirty. I think it's so wrong. I think it's just disgusting as a friendship group. But just what they were into is just sick. Okay, underage young women, come on. Okay, that's just sick. But that's what their group is into. Okay, um, let's go to the Egyptian gods. The advice here, if there is really, I mean, union and power, order and peace. This came out half halfway upside down. Sobek is the Egyptian god of union and power. This is what this was about: the political stance, the political gaining the political power in America. Altering things, using their power to dim the light on this situation, which is now coming out public. um, Very close knit, very close knit. They knew what they were doing. They were into it. They were into swapping lovers. They were into these underage women. They used these pageants to do the cover ups to get these girls so he can so Jeffrey Epstein can make his pick on his island. Okay, and do as and train them how they should be, how he felt they should be trained. Some of the things that were discussed in the case was he would tell the girls what to do, how to do them, grooming these girls. Okay, you see a whole group of these girls. Okay, all right. But as far as Trump, he wanted political power, which he ended up getting in this lifetime. But he thought he could run away from his past, and right now there is no order in peace, as we have the Egyptian god shoe upside down, kind of sideways, as if it's going to start turning to where it is chaotic. Order and peace is disrupted because Donald Trump, in my eyes, look at that darkness. Donald Trump, in my eyes, allegedly, per this reading, is just as guilty as Epstein and Ghislaine. And if Melania does not say anything and they start linking her to the situation, she's just going to be just as guilty. These group of four people, and I possibly feel like the group is bigger, but because we know Melania and Donald Trump as being the president and first lady, and Jeffrey Epstein is a billionaire, I feel like there are people that were in this group that has not been exposed yet. They don't want to be exposed. Okay. Um, this is going to boil over. This is definitely going to boil over. We're going to get more information. This is a dark time in our political history and in our country right now, to know that the person who is serving our country as the president is involved, allegedly involved with this Jeffrey Epstein situation, I do feel like the darkness will be exposed. He will be exposed. He will lose a lot of his support. Okay. And then we're going to stop right there because I do want to pick this reading up in a few, maybe in a few weeks. And then we'll do a reading on how things are coming along and what we are going to see coming out in the future. This is just the reading on the connection. The connection is significant. They were connected. There's no doubt in my mind, allegedly, per the channel, per YouTube, allegedly, these four were intertwined in this sick underage situation. Okay. And they're being exposed. Okay. So that concludes the reading on Trump and Epstein, the connection. Okay. We're going to pick it back up maybe in, I want to give it maybe a week and a half on this particular subject. Now, you guys look forward to my new videos that's going to be coming out. I will be dropping more. I missed you guys so much. Thank you to my supporters. And if you know, you know. Thank you guys. Make sure you hit the like, share, and subscribe, and take care and stay blessed.